What's up, guys? H2 here with my first 5-star legendary bounty with Sergio Vincenza. And this was a challenge. I'm a bit new to the party for these legendary bounties. My first one was just last week with the Owl Hoot family. And this one was a lot more difficult. So I'm starting to wonder if it's going to become more and more challenging each week, or if this one was just crazy. But I decided to post this video to show you guys my strategy that I used as a solo player to get the job done. And first thing you want to do is make your way to the top of the hill. If you can use the same route that I'm using, great. If not, use wherever they spawn you to get up to the top. Make sure that you're not noticed, that you get in stealthily, and make sure to know on the tower where the front entrance is. So there's only one way you can enter that tower. That is very important to be aware of that. And as I'm approaching here, obviously you can't see the enemies on the radar on the 5-star difficulty. So you do want to go slow. This route that I'm taking, there's a guy posted right here. So you want to be crouched, be silent. And this bush here, as soon as I break through, I'm going to rush this guy guarding the tower. So we are going in guns blazing. Take that guy down or not. You want to rush to the top and take out the assistant, Sergio's assistant up there. And as soon as he's down, take Sergio down quick. Tie him up and get to cover. And what I recommend for the first minute or two is just get comfortable being up here, because it is very overwhelming with a full army down below, and they will climb the tower. So the thing that really helped me was getting comfortable with the play space up here, knowing where you can crouch for cover, and really paying attention to the opening for the stairs, because that is the only opening that bullets can get through. And we've got our second bounty that tried to come up after us. So we got a 2-for-1. And we are going to keep cover and switch between the shotgun and the repeater as we get our bearings, and keep an eye on the entrance of the tower every few seconds. You can see right below you, which is why I like to be on this side of the tower, because there's only one way in, which is right below me. So you will see me switching back and forth, side to side. But this is the spot I like to stick to the most because of that view of the front door to the tower. But every once in a while, when bullets start getting through that opening, I do go back and forth just to change up my location and throw the AI off, keep them guessing. And you can see with that view, we see one coming up, and we can take them out right away. Most important thing when playing this solo, from my experience, is to stay calm and to stay in control. There was a few times where I got surprised, caught off guard, and the mission was done, because it only takes 1 or 2 shots and you are done on this 5-star difficulty. And remember to keep checking those stairs, because you do not want to get surprised like we almost did with this guy here. Obviously, I don't have to tell you guys, always have some tonics, always have some heals, because on these 5 stars you will need it once in a while, especially solo. And I just got hit pretty hard. That was a pretty good shot I took, so I'm going to move to the other side of the tower to keep the AI on their toes, so they don't just keep laser shotting me. Change it up. Got to change your location every once in a while. And the enemies are starting to thin out, so that first wave, that first initial wave is pure chaos. It is very overwhelming, but once it gets to this point where you've got 7, 8, 9, 10 guys down, you can start to relax a bit and really start thinning out the last ones. Now, in this position that I'm standing, you guys will notice that for some reason you can't get cover against this corner wall next to the table. So what I had to do is I had to crouch and stand. I could not pop in and out of cover, which at first really freaked me out and threw me off my game, but sometimes you've got to adapt, and you got to do what you got to do. So we are taking it slow and we are in control of the pace. Now we can finally relax a bit as we've taken out the majority of that army. And we can wait for these last few guys to pop out, show their positions, and showing their cover. And I've got the feeling now that we've taken almost all of them out. Maybe there's one or two left besides this last bounty that we've got to capture. So we will take him down, tie him up, and there is one guy in the distance. Instead of fighting head on, I am going to retreat, regain my composure, get cover, and then plan my attack. Because on these 5-star difficulties, all it takes is 1 or 2 or 3 shots and you are done. The bounty wagon would not spawn for me anywhere close to this tower, so I'm running to the front road, the road closest to Ansburg, where we'll be exiting, and that is the only place that it actually worked, where I could call the wagon. And it does always spawn behind you, so the way you're facing it will spawn behind you, so make sure you're looking out and call it from here, and you are good to go. Just make sure you don't go too much farther than you saw me in the video, because beforehand I did go a little bit further and enemies saw me and attacked me. Another tip for you guys is whenever I pick up these bounties, I always switch to my revolver, just one of them, just one revolver on the top right, because that way when you pick these guys up, as soon as they're on your shoulder, your one revolver will be equipped and ready to go. Because I have had enemies just show up out of nowhere as I'm picking these guys up or dropping them in the wagon or putting them on my horse. So I do like to always have that one revolver out just to deal with any surprises. And sure enough, we've got company. Not surprised at all. So I rushed straight for that guy, but depending on your playstyle, you might want to fall back, you might want to wait a bit more. But I just went for it on that time, and it worked out. And unfortunately, this guy got caught in the crossfire. Lying on those stairs in that opening, all those bullets flying through. This guy did die, so definitely be aware of that. If you guys are soloing this, if somebody is tied up on the stairs, you might want to risk it and bring them to the top. So just keep that in mind. Alright, all 3 are loaded up, and I always take a second or 2 before I get on the wagon just to see if there's any more surprises. And it looks like we are clear. And be careful of these red boxes, I'm pretty sure those are explosives. And if you bump into that with the wagon, I'm not sure if it would blow up, but I would definitely not want to find out at this point. And we are on our way to take these guys in, but it never goes that easy. So there are like 6 or 7 guys down this road, and it is a very narrow and very windy road. You have to be so careful with these wagons. Yeah, really careful. That was not even a steep incline, and thank God my horse got back up. But especially when you first leave this hilltop, you do want to take it slow, from my experience, because there are 6 or 7 guys on foot just waiting for you, and you're really a sitting duck on this wagon. And you'll see even here, I was just taking too much heat, just too many shots. These guys are so accurate. And when you're sitting on this wagon, you just can't move fast, you can't get cover, you're completely exposed. So you'll see that shot hurt really bad. So I decided to bail, jump out of the driver's seat, get some cover, replenish my health, regroup, and take these last few guys out on foot. And we are officially off that hilltop. So when you get to the bottom here, you'll cross these railroad tracks. And this is where I switch gears because now the road is not as steep, it's not as windy. So I'm gonna full bore this. I am gonna go full speed. I would only recommend doing this if you're very confident in your wagon driving skills, because these wagons are so much more difficult to maneuver than horseback. But at this point, I am going for it. As long as they're not in front of me, the steel wagon does a pretty good job of protecting you from bullets. You can see him hitting the back there. And here's the guy from the front. We're going to wait till we finish this turn before we engage and downed him. And just that 1 second of aiming completely screwed us with this wagon. We are in the absolute worst case scenario. And the only thing you can do in a situation like this is just react and make decisions. So I took out that second guy, popped a health tonic, and take out the third guy behind as we back up and regain ourselves, because the whole mission could have ended right here. And I've had that happen in Red Dead, so really got to stay calm and just react to those situations as best as you can. And it's usually between trying to run, fighting, or healing yourself, and just doing them in the right order. So that was a close one. Another good example of how treacherous these wagons can be. But now we're going for it. We are gunning it. I'm not looking back. We're so close to the finish now. I'm cutting this corner. You can see on the GPS, we're swinging it left. We're swinging it back right. We are at home stretch. So again, if you're confident in your wagon skills, go for it in these long stretches. And once you get to the railroad tracks, once you see those, you are home free. And I always like to switch to the railroad tracks as soon as possible, just so there's no more trees and rocks and all these obstacles. As soon as we get that break, as soon as it's a smooth transition, I am going to cut right onto those tracks, and we are going to call it a day. A successful 5-star legendary bounty solo. And there it is. We made it to the tracks, and we are home free. So even though the one guy died, it is a bit unfortunate, but we got the 2 other guys alive. And as you'll see after the cutscene, we still get really good XP for this mission.
Surprised you brought him in breathing. More mercy than most. There's your money.
Alright, so $135, 0.36 gold, 1,400 XP, and 1,761 XP for the Bounty Hunter role, the Bounty Hunter experience. So even though that one guy did die, we turned him into alive, 1 dead, we still made more than 300% of the XP for the Bounty Hunter role than you usually get from the standard bounties. So still definitely worth your time, but definitely very difficult for this Sergio Vincenza bounty. So that will do it for this video, guys. That is my strategy, some tips. And if you did enjoy this video, or if you found it helpful, make sure to smash that thumbs up, leave a like. As always, stay safe out there in the wild, wild west, and be vigilant and be smart and swift when doing these legendary bounties. I will see you guys in the next video. H2TV signing out for now.